Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about the book A Fish Caught in Time, The Search for the Coelacanth by Samantha Weinberg. Now, I actually read this book ages ago. It was sitting on my shelf, and I just never got around to doing a review of it. I don't know why. And then my wife loaned it to her grandmother, and we don't know if her grandmother actually got around to reading it. Her eyesight has gotten bad enough to the point where she actually can't really read any longer, which is a true pity because her mind is still sharp enough that she would like to, but even large print doesn't cut it. And she can't use a magnifying glass. She can't hold a magnifying glass up and read properly with it because she's almost 101. My wife goes over and they do crossword puzzles now. My wife, they used to play Scrabble, but she can't read the letters. But they do crossword puzzles. That way my wife reads them and she can still solve them. So she's some kind of intellectual engagement at least. And it gives them something to talk about. But this book is about one of the rarest things. Something that we thought was nothing but a bygone fossil is found alive and thriving, or at least alive, in the oceans. And that doesn't happen very often. That'd be like finding the Tasmanian tiger. That would be pretty wild. And there, of course, been rumors that they're still out there for, 100 years. It's an engaging book. It's very well written. It pulls you in, and it gets down into the very nitty-gritty details about how the fish was rediscovered, which, of course, it had never really been lost in some ways, that local fishermen had been pulling them up for as long as local fishermen could remember. The original inhabitants of South America and Central America had probably been pulling them up for the entire time they lived there, just not often. And but they weren't known to the Europeans, and of course, unless something's known to the Europeans, it doesn't exist. Yeah. The white man doesn't know about it. It's not real. But eventually it does make it onto the stage, and they are able to get functioning specimens. And then, of course, once we have better diving gear and cameras and things, now we have actually gotten footage of them in the wild. This is, we finally have footage of giant squids in the wild. So if you enjoy biology and you enjoy the story of how science solves a problem and researches a very specific topic, in this case, the coelacanth, this book is definitely for you. It's got ample appendixes in the back, which breaks down resources and specific places where they have been found, and the institutions that have done this research, and a breakdown of all the information they know about the life cycle of the fish itself, their eating, their breeding, their DNA structure, all that stuff. So it's a book that I'm actually keeping in my collection, even though I tend to get rid of books after I read them, simply because it's useful reference and it holds a very special place in my heart. The coelacanth, I can't tell you why, but it's almost like a touchstone to me. In fact, I was so fascinated by them, so thrilled to find this book, that for 1 year, for a present, my wife gave me a coin which actually has a coelacanth on it. And it's in my car, otherwise I'd be showing it to you now. But I think the Bahamas put it out, I'm not positive. Or Belize, one of the two. I think it's a bee country. And it's not worth much as far as a coin is concerned, but it's worth a lot to me because it's got a coelacanth on it, and not every country has coins with coelacanths on them. They're kind of unusual. So if you enjoy this type of a book, I think you really get into this read. I had a good time with it. Admittedly, I can read dry 19th century British texts, so you may want to take that as a caveat of some kind. But it was good. I had fun, and it's a book that's staying in my collection, and that's about the highest praise I can give it.